Oh, very good evening to you and welcome to our Tampines Hub, where it's time for a big game to unfold right in front of us, and by that we mean two strong teams sitting right out there in the top three. The Wonder Sticks go up against any schools in Ibandi, and this is going to be a really thrilling encounter. Remember that the Wonder Sticks were just about replaced by Orion Star when Orion Star won their previous game and went up with a goal difference of 70. So that's quite a big order. Schools in Ibandi, of course, then moving into second place currently on the table, and the Wonder Sticks, of course, are in third. There's a catch to it. The Wonder Sticks, of course, have 2 games in hand, and that's going to be a big one for them. It's always an advantage, especially if they go on to win those particular games when they are played out. Back to the action right here, right now. It's been a decent enough start, for the lads. Keep in mind the fact that the boys sometimes do just take a little bit of time to settle in. Well, it's never too much. Having said that, there's always, something to take out of it. And here we have Mohamed Romi, the captain. The Wonder Sticks, of course, are in red and black. And schools in Ibandi are in, white with red shorts, white jerseys. I was just mentioning this to my good mate Leandro that I really do love the logo that schools in Ibandi have. It's an angry flow ball. One full of steam. Always good to have an attractive logo, isn't it? So back to the action here, and a quick mention here on our unsung heroes, the ones who actually run the rules and regulations. We've got referee Sharil, and the rose among the referees for today is referee May. So it's going to be very important to see, how they will manage to keep this game afloat. Remember that the Singapore Floorball League, of course, comes directly under the Floorball Association. It is the main league in Singapore, where clubs get to battle it out. The Wonder Sticks just looking to make a little bit of inroads very early, in this event. It will be interesting to see, how far they do progress. But having said that, here we go with schools in Ibandi. Trying to make their own, path through. Be a decent enough move from them. Picking it up here was Selvajeevan. Selvajeevan will get just a little bit of a helping hand. Needs that coming in from his mate, Jaden Khan, of course. We've seen him, for the longest period of time, and just giving you the Wonder Sticks line up there, so you can read it on the scroll right at the bottom. So interesting times as far as the Wonder Sticks are concerned, but even more. I do believe as far as schools in Ibandi is concerned. All said and done, it definitely looks like we do have, a bit of a fight on here. Looking to knock that first one in. I think, the Wonder Sticks just beginning to look a tad bit aggressive. And, I do believe quite a hard-driven one earlier. Looking to pick it up at the other end. Here goes schools in Ibandi. I think they really require to get their act together. Damiri. Thought he was going to go in for a wraparound, but an assist doesn't work too well. But I think Mohamed Nazan just doing what he needs to. Just about a reverse tap-in, could have done the job. And Joshua Seau using a bit of stick magic there. That's pulled away very quickly by Seedon Khan. Exchange of possession has been fairly quick. And I do believe that both teams have got the ability to do what is needed. They're fairly quick. Aiden Irfan You've got to keep in mind the fact that these two are at the, pretty much at the top of the heap in that top three. And for all things said and done, it was Schools in the Bandy that were at number one. I'm not taking anything away from, the 1 to 6, as I did mention earlier. They do have a game in hand. Is that going to serve them well? Is that going to be good enough for them? I think, well, left to be seen. But all said and done, when you are, the top three, there's always going to be quick fire action. And that's what we're looking at here today. Looks like a decent enough solo run. Wanted to drive that through. I think good enough from Adel Aydin. That solo run just pulled away. I think Aydin Irfan just doing what was needed. But smart run earlier by Amirul Azri. And we've seen these lads before, grace the football stage on so many occasions. Most of them will have also played, at high school level, represented their institutions. We've seen them in the national school games, and very, very dedicated to the sport. So it's interesting to see in the clubs. Club pride is entirely different, isn't it, from national pride, and then from institution pride, schools or colleges or universities. So interesting turn of events here. Still looking to drive that through. That could have been an opportunity in disguise there for young Mohammad Indra. Well, not always the easiest to get it past the 1 to 6 custodian. Pulling it away now, Adel Aydin. Just finding Joshua Seo. Joshua just receiving it back. That's Ilario Ong. Ilario's got to pick out his man. Will decide to get it to his skipper. It's Mohamed Romi. Mohamed Shafiq. There's an opportunity in disguise here. Oh, that could have been a bullet for strike had it found its way through. And that's the second time around that they've got close, but no way past the custodian. And this is as, Hugh Tung Chuan is, denied. Tung Chuan just, putting in his maximum best there. It's a very, very interesting bit to look at. The 1 to 6, bringing on the attack first, and then a fairly strong bit of movement coming in from Schools in the Bandy. Well, time hasn't progressed too much. We've still got a good bit of time left in this event. Keep in mind the fact that the lads had moved at a fairly breakneck pace. Just trying to push it through here. Mohamed Daniel. Ilario up against him. Possession stolen well. Oh, that would have been such a sweet setup. A lovely effort there from Gabriel Chan. Just trying to get it for Mohamed Hezri to knock that in. On the outside. That's possession grabbed again by Tamiri Zahid. One of the important bits to keep in mind is, of course, the teams do have one thing to keep in mind. It's not just about scoring, it's also about conceding. And goal difference will play a very big part at the end of the season. Well, a few setups and a few assists, but that isn't going to find the target. But 10 on 10 to that effort to set it up by Amirul Azri. So the 1 to 6, of course, did finish, third in the league last year. And, Ryan Star were pretty much, kings of the football stage in the club scenario. Having said that, let's not forget that Schools in the Bandy, of course, did bow out in the knockout stage. But this year they've been are pretty much on fire. It'll be very interesting to see how they progress, up the ranks, so how they sustain their performance for the rest of the season. Still a good bit left of it. Now here goes Schools Inabandi, still very, very keen on getting the first one in. Mohamed is on. They're just finding Mohamed Indra. That's pulled away very quickly. Just looking for that light tapping, and that's always going to be an opportunity in disguise there. Pretty fast movement from Marcus Nordstrom. Just a big tap there coming from Jaden Khan. That ball's been just left lying loose for a good bit of time. Putting the ball right with the opposition. Doesn't always work, but the Wonder Sticks seem to have a bit of fire in them. Yes, Danny Zikri. Very fast by Salvajivan. So there's going to be some sort of an opportunity here for the attack of Wonder Sticks to get through, but Tamari Zahid decides he's got to do the tangle with the ball all by himself. Could be something in there, just a tad bit of a clash. Nordstrom standing right in the path. The referee, of course, will grant that too. Schools Inabandi. The official is just keeping a close watch. Movement will be resumed. Mohamed Anik. Mohamed Hezri. Let's pull the way back again. Fairly quick work being done by Gabriel Chan. He's fairly tricky with the ball. Did have a beautiful setup earlier. Just went around the goal. Thought he was going to effect a wrap around, but decided he was going to go in for an assist, and well, that was fairly deceptive. Had Lad with the strike been able to do much, and that's just trickled forward, so no worries at all. It did get away from Danny Zikri. Danny, of course, was looking to knock that in. Just a bit of a hop and a skip here for Sharhan. Sharhan trying to make a bit of a difference. Keep in mind the fact that we are under 8 minutes here, under 8 minutes left in the first period, so it's going to be interesting to see how this progresses. Quick tap back straight off the boards, and that'll be picked up. Needs to scoop that in. Will race to reclaim it. Oh, that's a good bit of pace on him. I've got to give credit where credit is due, and that is some phenomenal pace put on there by Abdul Hafiz. Yes, Mohamed Shafiq back again. Hilario back to Shafiq. Nice to push it forward to Mohamed Mikhail. I almost thought there was something in here for Joshua Xiao. The Wonder Sticks regrouping in defense. Dario Ong gets back to it. It's back to Mohamed Shafiq. Back there. Might result in something. Well, Abdul Hafiz got to credit him for his pace factor. Joshua Xiao knocking it back. Joshua back again. Make the difference there for his team. So no goals as yet. It's been a very, very interesting first period of play. I would have thought that definitely we were going to get into a bit of scoring here, but having said that, when you're up there on the table and you're within maybe the top 3 or 5 teams, and you are playing each other, it does slow down the scoring. Well, once the gates open, it could turn into the floodgates as well, but not so easy because both teams do display a very, very decent attack and defense mode, and that's what we're looking at here. So it's not going to be a walk in the park for either, and they're going to have to earn their stripes here. Movement once again from Schools Inabandi. I think that's been a bit of a problem. Use the 360 just to get the ball away. Aidan Irfan does well. Chance here for the Wonder Sticks. Do have the advantage getting back into the court. Quick run there from Urshad. It seemed like he was going to get something through, but did lose his stick under the Lasri. Depending on who's standing guard. Mohammed goes Fazwan for Schools Inabandi. I do believe at the other end we've got Ramadians here. There's Laria Ong. Finding Mohamed Abdul. Straight back there to Dani Zikri. Dani Zikri will have to let it rest. Safe hands of Mohamed Indra. Gets the action restarted. Well, looking to drive that home, but once again a fairly good stop put up there by the Wonder Sticks custodian. Just testing the water strong enough this time was Kyu Thung Chuan. Well, that is so needed in an event like this. You definitely want to make it count. Now straight off the boards once again. Now here goes, well, Schools Inabandi still looking for that attack. Mohamed Azan. And Selvage even just caught totally by surprise. Did try to tap that in, but that's just moved out safely. No worries at all, but there could be something in here. That is a sublime finish. Absolutely sublime finish there from Mohamed Mikhail. Well, you needed that. Broke through the defense, just found his way through. A gentle tap in, getting the better of the keeper as he goes one-on-one on him. Now let's take a view of that. Picks it up, absolutely open space for him. All he needs to do is really outsmart the keeper. So, well played. And it's now, of course, Wonder Sticks with the lead. Well, that is so required in an event like this, isn't it? You've got to don your best skill and go ahead with it. And that's the number 7, Mohamed Mikhail, well, with the opening goal. So 1-0, Wonder Sticks, and very, very interesting. I do love that. You always want to see. And that could have been a second opportunity here, but this time just missing out on it. And that's Aidan Irfan. Aidan Irfan, well, so close. And it's moments like this that I think, Schools Inabandi just taken totally by surprise. There we've got his full name, just in case you didn't catch it. It's Mohamed Mikhail Rayan. Wonderful goal. Always a great start. And you definitely do not want, the first part of any event in floorball to go without a goal. Quick run there, but meeting with resistance this time. And it was Urshad. The ball's been pulled away very smartly by Amirul Lasri. Here's Marcus Nordstrom. Very interestingly, of course, I have to keep you in the loop about the fact that this event, you always have, well, people, you always have brands responsible, for the event and for the support that they give, the Singapore Football League. And Taishan, of course, the official apparel for the event. And then you've got Starbalm, official sports care partner. So it's very, very important. And then Sports Singapore, for really turning those wheels behind the scenes, and not just for floorball, for practically everything that we've seen in recent times. Not only focusing on the development, but also putting a very, very strong emphasis on the growth of different sports. So, more power to them. Always glad to see that in any sporting nation. Now that goes just past the post. Opportunity missed second time around for Kyu Thang Chuan. Always an opportunity, and here we go. That's pretty much the end of the first period, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens as we go ahead. 1-6 stake, a 1-0 lead into the break over Schools in Abandi. Stay with us. We'll be back with you in just a short bit. Welcome back as we get into, well, the second phase of play, or the second period right here, as Wonder Sticks go up against Schools Inabandi. This has been a very, very interesting battle with just one single goal to account for, and that of course falls into the basket of the Wonder Sticks after that sublime finish that we saw by Mohammed Mikhail Rayan. So it was a very, very good goal, very well played by the Wonder Sticks, and pretty much against the run of play at that particular moment. So here we get into the second part. Let's find out if Schools Inabandi didn't even wait for me to say that. It was just the first up attack coming straight from the stick of Mohamed Daniel, and I do believe that they will be very keen on maintaining the momentum that they've created in the league this time. The last year it wasn't really a good finish for them, bowing out in the knockout stages. So I'm sure that they definitely would want to finish right there at the top, or maybe among the top two. But no team ever really finishes for a second finish. It's always top spot that you're looking at. So here we go back again. Wonder Sticks still trying to do a little bit of hard work there on the back lines, and that's Edeliden. Remember, we do have a swap inside, so that could have been such a sublime hit, but no way past the Schools Inabandi goalkeeper. But Aiden Irfan, just doing what he's meant to do, and that is, of course, to try and level the playing field. Mohamed Rose Fazwan is the goalkeeper for Schools Inabandi. He's the captain now, Mohamed Shafiq, who's come on board. Receives it back from Ilario Ong, and this is a fine line, if you ask me. It's a very, very effective line that the Wonder Sticks have with Ilario Ong, Mohamed Shafiq. Then you've got Mohamed Mikhail, and of course that really quick lad, Abdul Hafiz, and also Joshua Xiao. Very strong players. There's Mohamed Shafiq, decides to get the party started. Bit of a helping hand, looking for a tap-in. A step too many there near the goal, and Joshua Xiao wasn't able to do much. I think the referee's called that. I do believe that Abdul Hafiz will not too pleased about it, but the referee Sharo. Just making sure, so they're trying to figure out who's going to be out, and it is Abdul Hafiz. Definitely a bit of contact there, and a nudge to the left. I think just a clean call by the official. There's no doubt about it. No questions being asked. So Schools Inabandi do have a free hit to get started with. Might be able to do something with it. I remember box play coming into the second period. We've got, of course, one lad with the bench penalty. Will go straight past the post here. Advantage for the lads in red and white. The question, can they make the most of it? Here's Selvajeevan. Selvajeevan's got to pick his man out, decides to scoop it. Let's repeated offences there by Abdul Hafiz. So he will have to sit it out. The Wonder Sticks have got the capability to defend. It's all about whether the opposition can find a pathway through that. And there are always ways and means to do that. The question is, what would happen on a given day? And that's pulled away by the Wonder Sticks, and that really is the best ploy to work. Of course, Kaden Khan just trying to get that away. And while we do that, of course, we've got another lad out, so it's a 4-4-4 here now. And it's Kyu Tang Chuan who will sit it out. We've got two lads out. So two lads out besides Kyu Tang Chuan. It's also Tamiri Zahid, who finds himself out, so it's 4 against 3 here. So very interesting. It's no longer a 5-4 but a 4-3. Ilario Ong trying to drive that through was Mohamed Mikhail. Well, quick fire shot, but stopped well there by keeper Mohamed Rose Fazwan. Shaf Siao just finding back to Mohamed Shafiq, the captain. Back to Joshua. Wall decides to go in for the strike. Straight off the opposition's custodian. Fairly deceptive. No well glance towards the goal. He was pretty much accurate. And at full strength back again are the Wonder Sticks. They're up against 3. And that push is going to work. Well, it was always going to be when you're 5 against 3, it's going to be a disadvantage entirely. And Ilario Ong, well, just doubling his team's tally. So now it's, well, 2-0. Well, you knew that was going to give. It's a bit too much of pressure there. All he needed to do was jab that in. Very well done. Straight on the rebound. 2-0, and the Wonder Sticks, well, just about earning another goal for themselves. That's what's needed in a period like this. You definitely want to make it count. You definitely want to, well, strike as best as you can. Could be something in here for the Wonder Sticks back again. They're still playing 5 against 4. A couple of seconds still left for the other player who's outside, and that's Damiri Zahid. Just looking to push that through. Yutan Chuan, of course, was well bunched along with Damiri Zahid. One for an incorrect push, the other for a hit. Selvajeevan just playing it off his shoulder. Will face off, much as it looks as run-of-the-mill as possible. To give you the best possible advantage. That's another save put forward there by Mohamed Rose Fazwan. And I do think it's a tad bit of worry there for the keeper. Looks like he's hurt his arm, and Abdul Hafiz just checking in on that. So we might have a swap of goalkeepers there. Just getting ready to come on. It's Mohamed Rayan. I do think he took a bit of a hit to his, well, right hand. It looks like he'll continue. I think the other goalkeeper just checking in on him. sometimes it can be a concern for you, especially the hand tends to be the most fragile, exposed a bit. And I do believe it's going to sit it out. Because replacing him, and it looks like, well, he did take a pretty hard knock. So replacing him there, it's going to be Mohammad Rayan. Well, it's one of those, you know, sports where you always think, you know, it isn't really injury prone, but every sport is, believe me, right down to something like table carrying. It depends. Well, it could be your fingers, it could be anything. You know, it's never really a safeguard that sports does not have injury, and it's always going to be there, and that's the reason why most of the lads that do, well, take part are fit and tough as nails. But having said that, the body always needs time to recuperate, and even if it's a sting or a slight sprain, definitely needs attention. Bit of a tussle there, and that's been called by the officials. So it's still Wonder Sticks 2, Skulls Inibandi 0 right here at our Tampines Hub. Remember, this is pretty much the heart of where our floorball really comes alive. And last year, well, you know, the Singapore Floorball League finals were just amazing, but that's picked up safely. Smart thinking, I would believe, on the part of Ramadian Sia. Here's Dani Zikri. Decides to go in for the kill. And we don't want the other keeper, well, being knocked in as well. I think just attempt for the rebound there coming from, well, Adel Aydin. Or it wasn't really Adel Aydin, but it was Mohamed Daniel, and he's going to have to sit it out. So Mohamed Daniel, well, did have a contact there with the keeper. I was just saying we don't want two keepers out. That all seems to be well so far. Well, just making sure that his hands are all right. And that's what Mohammad Rayan was doing. So things just, well, taking a bit of a pause here, slight break in momentum, well, with one injury and then of course one almost fairly, not that as bad, but minor injury as well. Here's Mohamed Nazrul. That's pulled away by Amir Al-Azri. Straight off the boards as well, and picked up by Abdul Hafiz. Fairly quick. Here's Mohammad Shafiq. Back to Abdul Hafiz. He was looking to set that up for his teammate. Ilario Ong deciding to go for goal. It's past the right post, no way through for him as yet. We're pretty much coming to the end of you know, the 9 minutes in the second period. It's been an interesting one for us so far. Oh, that's a bit of a wild shot, but decides to just keep the pressure on, and if that's what he can do, I think that's what he'll be keen on. This time it was Hugh Tung Chuan. Well, a bit of a tussle there, and Kaden Tan will have to let that rest. Seen Caden, of course, play for club. I've seen him play for school, the national school games. He's quite a popular lad. Also one of those dedicated flow bowlers. Well, everyone is really out here, isn't it? Well, that's a bit of a sublime hit and much needed here. So reducing the deficit, and this was really well done by Mohammad Indra. Seized the opportunity and just slotted that home. Nice little angle there. Very, very confident strike too. So Mohammad Indra makes it, well, 2-1. So just a goal behind now are Schools Inibandi, with the number 19 of Schools Inibandi, while striking the first one for his team. So referee May just outside having a word there, and I think, well, meanwhile it's also time for Mohammad Daniel to return. Just trying to figure out what Mohammad Anik was waiting for, almost like the verdict. Quick turn back here from Mohammad Abdul. Marcus deciding to get Joshua Xiao in. It's back to Marcus. Back to Mohammad Abdul. So just about under 10 minutes left here in this second period of play. It's been quite interesting, because keep in mind the fact that the goals haven't really been showering down as such, but the fact that the teams have been able to pull out the opportunities and make the most of them. Can Schools Inibandi pull level here? I think that'll definitely be first and foremost on their minds. Looking for a way to set that up. That's picked up safely. No way past Ramadi Ansya. Away. Must be something in here for Schools Inibandi. Mohammad Hazri been quite active down the line, so has Amir Al Azri. Well, these lads do play very hard, they do play strong. Opportunity for things on way. Well, that's a one-handed, that's an artistic one. I would love that for the picture books. Oh, that's straight through. Didn't take too much time to find a way in. And decent enough celebration. So a brace here for Mohammad Rian. Well, just took that on absolutely well. All it needed was a bit of guidance. Chased it, stayed with it before he could deposit it home. So Mohammad Rian makes it, well, 3-1, just restoring that 2-goal lead that the Wonder Sticks had. And, well, nullifying Schools Inibandi's effort well in this spot. Having said that, still over 8 minutes left. Anything can change. So Mohammad Rian, well, intelligent play there from him. So what a change in goals here. Now here's Mohammad Shafiq furthering that. Mohammad Mikhail Rayan, his second of the night. And both goals, of course, struck on his own merit. I think that's quite commendable. You really want to play your part with solo effort. And if you can pull it off, nothing like it. Here's Caden. And just letting that slip through the wings, I would believe. Aiden Irfan. Good pass there to Mohammad Nazan. Jaden Khan just trying to do his bit. So gets a pass here, we post this time around. Young Caden. Here's Arshad. Decides to slip it back to Aiden Irfan. Picked up very quickly by Kyu Thang Chon. Back to Aiden Irfan. Decides to draw on Marcus. Well, Arshad not entirely behind that effort. Or just misguiding that. But not this time around. Caden almost knocking it through. Picked up safely. Mohammad Rayan does well here. Well, to hold fort for Schools in Abandi this time around. Abdul Hafiz just making sure that they had possession, but that's snatched away very quickly by Tamiri Sahid. Restoring back to Abdul Hafiz. That's fast work being done. There's a couple of lads who are going to take the route out. And referee Charles wasn't too happy about that. So Abdul Hafiz and of course Mohammad Anik had a clash of sorts there, and that's exactly what happened right there behind. Just bit of a conflict there between the two, and referee Charles saying, lads, you just need to sit out and cool down a little bit, calm down before you can get back onto the court. And that's a good call. That's zero tolerance always for any sort of personal exchanges. It's all about being competitive and playing the sport out the way it's meant to be. And Joshua Xiao just getting a word from the official that it's time to restart the action. The captain right in front of the face-off, Mohammad Shafiq. It's pulled away by Joshua Xiao. So pretty much no reason to worry, as it's 4 against 4 here. Neither, a man short on court. Good pass from Mohammad Shafiq. Finds Joshua Xiao. Well, there's always going to be opportunities to strike. It's just about being able to create them. Here's Joshua Xiao now, taking it forward. Joshua finds Ilario. Ilario, sweeping motion there. Only finds the opposition, but Josh just able to, restore it to Mohammad Shafiq, the captain. It's back to Joshua. Back to Mohammad. Smartly played to Ilario. Joshua who swapped sides with Mikhail. Could Mikhail be on a hat-trick here tonight? That's going to be a big question. But that's pulled away by Schools in Abandi. Well done by Mohammad Lutful. Here's Joshua Siao. So young Abdul Hafiz, of course, having to sit it out. He's had a couple of repeated, offences earlier. It's the second time that he's found himself, well, just about cooling his heels. And I think referee Shaul just making sure that he's going to keep, well, order on the court, along with referee May. And there we have it. Quick entry, came in with a flash here. Mohammad Anik. That's got to be one of the fastest entries that I've seen. And that's found its way through, but well, really didn't think that it was going to find, well, the target, but it's now 4-1, and the Wonder Sticks have caused a bit of worry. I did think after that run in earlier by Mohammad Anik there would have been a change for Schools in a Bandy, and that's how it's played out. Well, just an opportunity straight off, and Kaden Khan, well, playing it off the goalkeeper. Well, that's got to be such a tricky spot there. So Kaden Khan will get the credit for that. It's 4-1. Oh, you just hate it when you find the gap there and it's actually the goalkeeper. You're playing it off like a board. Salvajivan. Ilario just pulling it away. Not for too long. Right behind it, here's Mohammad Nazan. So Kaden Khan will get the credit for that goal. So 4-1 as it currently stands, and you would have thought that the Wonder Sticks weren't really going to score in this part, with Schools in a Bandy showing so much of promise, but the Wonder Sticks just holding their own. And here we go once again, another misdemeanor spotted, and it's going to be time for Mohammad Nazan to sit it out. That's going to be a penalty as well. So not the easiest you would believe, and bench penalty once again. We've got so many in today's event. That's just going to be a bit daunting here. Well, at club level, there's always going to be a bit of physical play. These teams play very, very pacey games. There's no doubt about it. But advantage here now for the Wonder Sticks. Schools in a Bandy grouped together to defend straight out of that box, but keeping in mind the fact that the Wonder Sticks have been able to score in previous situations like this, it might be a worry. As Caden, Marcus, back to Caden. There's definitely got to be something in here. Too many players. Mohammad Hezri having to, well, sit it out. It's one of the bits of confusion that's always going to happen, isn't it? But the substitutions, well, you can roll them in as much as you want. 2 minutes of delaying play. Mohammad Nazan, well, that's what he's got. Well, did spend a bit of time dragging the ball around before you could get it started. No way through this time for Adel Aydin, as that's, well, some defensive work put up there by Mohammad Ryan. Here's her shot, pulling it away. Marcus. Joshua Siao to Mohammad Shafiq. Here's Alario. Back to Mohammad Shafiq. Back to Lario. Lariong won't get it past keeper Mohammad Rayan. Now this, of course, is Mohammad Rayan bin Hamdi. We had, Mohammad Mikhail Rayan, who scored for the Wonder Sticks, and he's on the hunt for his hat-trick. He's got a brace in the bag here. Well, just about 30 seconds left in this period. It's been an interesting one for us because we were expecting, maybe another 2 goals, but we've had 3, and that's what you call progress. Unfortunate here for, Schools Inabandi as the Wonder Sticks. They're just flashing their stick magic a bit too much. A bit of confusion there. Will that be granted? And it won't be. So, I was expecting that. Referee Charles had already blown the whistle, so there was no way they were going to find their way through. Bit of a skirmish there, I think, with the goalkeeper being caught up. And there it goes. Mohammad Shafiq just making sure the referee had his eye on it. So yeah, we have it to the end of the second period. It is the Wonder Sticks who lead by 4 goals to 1, a brace by Mohammad Mikhail Rayan, Hilario Ong, and of course Caden Tang among the scorers. Caden scoring in this part with Mohammad Mikhail, and the sole goal in that second period coming from Mohammad Indra for Schools Inabandi. It's Wonder Sticks 4, Schools Inabandi 1. Stay with us as the action continues right here at our Tampines Hub in the Singapore Floorball League 2025-26. Welcome back to the third and final period as the Wonder Sticks and Schools Inebandi resume their battle. Of course, it is the Wonder Sticks who lead by 3 goals, with the score standing at Wonder Sticks 4, Schools Inebandi 1. You've got to keep one thing in mind, that the Wonder Sticks, of course, are very keen on replacing Schools Inebandi in that second spot. There's a bit of a difference there. The Wonder Sticks have 12 points and 42 goals, goal difference of plus 42. But Schools Inebandi, who sit in second position right now, have 12 points and 49. That's the goal difference for them. Keep in mind the fact that Wonder Sticks, of course, have 2 games in hand over Schools Inebandi, having played out only 6 games, while Schools Inebandi have played out 8 so far. Also, very quickly, let's remind you that this is the Singapore Floorball League, the Premier League 2025-26, organized by the Singapore Floorball Association, and we are coming at you live from our Tampines hub. My name is Glenn Mascarenhas, and bringing this entire event to your screens is Leandro and his crew. They've done a fantastic job, of course, of covering the league right through. It's going to be very interesting to see how this one, of course, plays out here, because also we've got to give credit to 3 pillars that are really responsible for partnering and very much being, I said, pillars of this event. And that, of course, is Taishan, the official apparel. Then we've got the official sports care, that's Tabam, and Sports Singapore, for always being the forefront of promoting not just healthy, not just active, but really fun sports. Chance here to knock that through, but that'll be kept away. No way past keeper Mohamed Ryan this time for Caden Tan. He was trying to drive that through earlier. It's pulled away by Amarul Azri. Azri just restoring it back to Selvajeevan. Selvajeevan will let it rest easy right behind, but Mohamed Indra needs to find the gap, and he does, to Selvajeevan, who's now next to the opposition's goal. We've got Yu Kang Chuan, who's right in front there. Bit of a battle between Selvajeevan and Mohamed Abdul. The Schools Inebandi athlete will win the benefit of that call from the referee. Was just looking back, at the bit of play that went by earlier. We did have, the statistics up. And if you just look at it, at the end of the second period, well, living life dangerously, and they found a way through, and that's so important here. So now it's 4-2, much needed, you would believe. Well, let's look at how it all planned out. Well, that just played straight off the keeper into the goal. Well, an eye for an eye, if you ask me, and this time it's Mohamed Nazan. So Mohamed Nazan reducing the deficit, for his team. It's 4-2, and Schools Inebandi, have still got a good bit of spirit left in them. Well, don't forget that goal that was scored, earlier, straight off the keeper by, Caden Tan. So, well, that's what I was saying, an eye for an eye. But just looking back at how the teams have played out, at the end of the second period, the Wonder Sticks had 20 shots on, on goal, as compared to 7 that came in from, Schools Inebandi. 12 of those were on target for the Wonder Sticks, and as far as Schools Inebandi were concerned, they had 4 on target. 8 were off target for the Wonder Sticks, 3 off target for Schools Inebandi. 9 fouls for the Wonder Sticks against 6 for Schools Inebandi, and the shots blocked. There were 4 saves as compared to 11 saves as compared to 3 for the Wonder Sticks. The Schools Inebandi really being put under the pump there. And I think the goalkeeper performed really well. Shots blocked were about 4 as compared to 1 for the Wonder Sticks. So very interesting bit of play. As you can see, of course, the Wonder Sticks being very aggressive here today. Having said that, Schools and Bandy, I think, also digging deep to defend. The scoreline could have read very different, but 4-2. It's fairly healthy for Schools and Bandy if they can finish, on par or pull level by the end of this period. Pass there from Mohammad Hezri. Caden Khan was just fighting for it. Just a little over 15 minutes left. That's tapped straight up in the air. Here's Caden back again. Fairly quick with his movement. Just pulled away just in time by Mohammad Nasrul. Definitely an attempt to make this count here. Pulled away by Mohammad Shafiq. Does very well to drive that through. Abdul Hafiz just awaiting an opportunity. Seemed close enough, for just a little bit. Well, that's interesting. Almost believed that Abdul Hafiz had a chance to have knocked that in. Well, forgot to mention, of course, our coaches for the day. It's Sarvanan who's in charge of the Wonder Sticks. That's Sarvanan Rajamanikam, and for Schools in a Bandy, it's Mohammad Shamir. Jeevan and Marcus. But Marcus just about bring their battle for the time being. Dani Sikri getting the action restarted here. Great pass back to Marcus. Just trying to keep it away, Jaden Khan. Dani Sikri back on the trot, just finding Aiden Irfan. Now it's straight with Mohammad Indra. Oh, there could be something here, in store for, well, Schools and a Bandy. They're looking a little bit sharper in this period of play, and I think that is so required. Had just 2 goals, one in the second period and one so far in the third period. Here's Hilario. Referee Sharil just making sure that everything is pretty much under control here. Mohammad Shafiq, well, served up on a silver platter there with the ball. Was hoping for it. Finds Abdul Hafiz. Well, decides to go in for the goal. Could have found the target, but that's well palmed away. Mohammad Royan alert to the danger this time around. And as we close in on that first 10 minutes of this third period. It's going to be interesting as Wonder Sticks are still keeping the pressure on. That attack has been quite fast and it's been quite pacey. And we do have a timeout here. So do stay with us as the action continues in the Singapore Floorball League Premier League 2025-26 happening right here at our Tampines Hub. It's live, it's been active, and I do hope that you've been enjoying the action as much as us. Quick word there for the referees as well. Referee Sharil and referee May. They just get a little bit of a breather before they can get into that last 10 minutes and 44 seconds. The Wonder Sticks, of course, calling the timeout. Stay with us, don't go anywhere. Well, actually trying to figure out what the timeout was for. Probably Coach Saravanan would want, you know, that, well, goal scoring just to be a bit harder, a bit faster. Maybe that's just one of the reasons. Sometimes you want to find your lads not getting a bit too complacent, you know, push a little bit harder. I mean, especially when you look at the opposition starting to get their act together, even if it's a little late in the day, that doesn't really make a difference, because if they can score, there's every chance that they can equalize. And that's picked up safely. Decent enough attack, you know, coming from the stick of, well, Nukman Sharhan. There's Arshad pulling it away, finds Dani Zikri. Now furthering it, Nukman Sharhan. There almost seemed to have been an opportunity in disguise here for Mohammad Anik. But Arshad will just get it out of harm's way. One of the days when you couldn't get a foot to the ball, well, now you can. And exploiting that well was, well, Mohammad Nazrul. Here's Selvajeevan. Was trying to push that through. Quick movement from Mohammad Nazhan. Remember, he scored the second goal for Schools in a Bandy. Definitely an opportunity for him to make it count. Quick pass back here from Adel Aydin. Here's Abdul Hafiz finding Marcus. Marcus decides to go for goal. Dani Zikri. And here's Abdul Hafiz once again denied there by keeper Mohammad Rayan. It's a good opportunity for Wonder Sticks to have just extended their tally a little bit more. Adel Aydin finding Mohammad Mikhail. Here's Mohammad Shafiq. Oh, that's a sneaky reverse pass as he finds Joshua Siao. Pulled away by Selvajeevan, but not for too long. Further ahead there by Mohammad Abdul. And that's found its way through. That didn't take too long. Well, we were talking about this a while back, weren't we? Now this is how it all broke down. You know, Mohammad Abdul Hafiz just waiting there, decides that he needs to get a pass in, and that's the hat-trick for Mohammad Mikhail. 3 goals in the bag as Wonder Sticks lead by 5 goals to 2. Well, I did say this, he was on a hat-trick earlier. I was keen on finding one, and he definitely has made his mark. So 5-2, Mohammad Mikhail Rayan with his 3rd goal of the night. Abdul Hafiz also, well, looking very lethal in attack in this 3rd, well, period. Had a bit of a mixed bag in the first 2 periods. You know, had the referee's eyes on his back right through, and that's because he had a few, well, collisions, some intentional. But he's definitely looking a lot sharper in this part of the game, and that's a good thing, because that's exactly what you want. No physicalities, but just you know, stick with how well you can attack and prove yourself to be well sharper than usual. I think was just talking about that, this is what it really means. Jalen Tan was, earlier running, but this time it was Mohammad Indra, but who did get the nudge from Abdul Hafiz, and that's the third time around that he sat it out. So 3 calls there, literally, for being, physical, and not really needed, I would believe, just as he was starting to shine in his game. And sometimes, a bench penalty just puts your team at a bit of a disadvantage, and that's not really required because you always got to be a man short. And when that happens, of course, the opposition has the chance to exploit that moment. Having said that, some of the finest teams, of course, score their best goals when they're down to being a man shot, or in women's floorball being, a goal shot. So that's very, very interesting as to how teams really structure their gameplay. Some thrive on a disadvantage. Having said that, Schools and Bandy will be able to, make the most of it, and that's 2 minutes out for a hit for Abdul Hafiz. Just a little over 7 minutes left of play. We've got a player down there. I think the physio just checking in. That's Amirul Azri. We're just giving you a look at that little collision. He did hit the boards. Having said that, they are collapsible. So, sometimes it just depends on the angle at which you tend to knock the board, especially if your knee knocks the top of it. It can be a bit, worrying. It's not always, as simple as it looks. Quite a event here today that we're looking at. Ilario trying to knock that in, but I think it is Schools and Bandy who's still holding fought here. They've got to make the most of it if they need to equalize, or at least reduce the deficit further. This could be their best opportunity with a lad sitting out for the Wonder Sticks. Just missing the line of that entirely. Mohammad Mikhail. What happens to the best of us? Here he is, pulls it away, looking to do a bit of damage control, decides to get it back to his captain. Here's Mohammad Shafiq. And pulled away just in time. An opportunity in disguise. And he's found his mark. Absolutely wonderful play there, and that is so needed. So, Nukman Sharhan, knocks in the third goal for his team. Just picked it up past the half line. Did not have too much of resistance. Had to get it in between Ilario Ong and, of course, the keeper, Marcus Stowe. And I think he's done very well here. So it's 5-3. I think that's what you really need to do. You need to take advantage of the situation. We're trying to get back quickly. Yes, Arshad, for his team. Arshad once again, very persistent. Here the Schools in a Bandy area. And the Wonder Sticks will get the benefit of that call as Arshad gets a helping hand up. It's a very crucial time here, and of course, if you haven't noticed, it's back to full strength for the Wonder Sticks. Here's Arshad trying to push that through. Well done by Mohammad Rayyan to keep it well covered. Well, great persistence there. Well, that was a lethal attack. Kieran Khan, well, trying to push that through, but what a lovely run that we saw from, Ed and Irfan. And referee Sharil just saying, let's get it back into the right spot, lads. Here's Mohammad Shafiq. I do believe Schools and the Bandy, well, they've been very good with their performance this year. Not taking anything away from the Wonder Sticks. Well, having said that, the Wonder Sticks, of course, are affiliated to, Storvreta, IBK. They're pretty much giants in the club circuit in Sweden, and just one of those teams that is really feared by other clubs. They've done very well, and they have this really great youth academy. They've got excellent initiatives for worldwide floorball growth, where they take part in it. And right here in Singapore itself, if you're going to be looking at the month of June, there's a very interesting time, because the the IBK Storvreta events will take place, and it's interesting to know. You've got the IB, you've got the Storvreta summer camp. And while we talk about that, here's another goal through. And Schools and the Bandy are beginning to look like they just might be able to pull level here. It's 5-4 now. Absolute magic required, a little bit of help, and that is such a sublime strike. Straight from a distance, straight off a solo run, and that's what is required. He was aiming for it. That injury seems to have done him good. Amil Razri, well, just making it 5-4. So 4 goals for the count for Schools in a Bandy. The number 73, Amir Al-Azri, well, did hit the boards earlier, but just one more goal required with 4 minutes left to go. The Wonder Sticks just losing a bit of steam, I think, with their attack. I don't know what happened after the timeout, but they've definitely switched gears. They've looked a little bit more at attack. They've left their defense lines open just a little bit, and I think that's been a bit of a problem for as far as they're concerned, because Schools in a Bandy looks like they've actually been able to catch that, and they've zeroed in on what could be opportunity. So a little under 4 minutes left. Anything could happen. I was just saying this earlier, that the Storvreta Summer Camp Singapore will happen from the 16th to the 18th of June. It's their very own event. Of course, the Wonder Sticks are right in the heart of that. And then the Storvreta Kupin, which is actually the Storvreta Cup, happens from the 19th to the 22nd of June 2025. If you're a floorball fan, well, nothing like it. What a strike! What a comeback here as Aidan Irfan decides to get one through, and it's now 6-4. So the Wonder Sticks aren't letting go of this matchup. No chance for it. Here's Aidan Irfan, just takes that through all the way. Did see the goalkeeper right in his sight, and unable to stop that was, well, Mohammad Rayyan. So 6-4 as the number 9 decides to make a call right towards the end of play. So fine work being done here. The Schools and the Bandy now faced with that task of 2 more goals if they want to make it count, if they want to avoid defeat here. And that's going to be so important for them, because your position on the table really tells a story. And with the Wonder Sticks having 2 games more on them, I don't think just between the two of them it's going to be a very different story if the Wonder Sticks pull off a win here. Having said that, Orion Star has been shining bright. I had to pull that pun in, sorry about that. But they did well last year to win the league, and this year they've been on fire as well. So it's going to be interesting to see, well, who's going to cap it off at the end of the year, and that's what makes it so exciting. Bit of an opportunity here to knock that through for Kyu Tung Chuan. And just in case, of course, you didn't know this, the Singapore Floorball League and the Premier League 2025-26, it's organized by the Singapore Floorball Association. Don't forget that the rules and regulations are all the same that you are going to see in international floorball, so there's no change about that. Whether it's the fouls, you know, it's the penalties, the timing, everything pretty much remains the same. Here's Joshua Siao taking it forward, gets it right behind the opposition's goal. It's got Abdullah Hussain, and that looks so easy, but that is a very smartly planned goal. It's now 7-4, and the Wonder Sticks are just beginning, well, to raise the standard here by a bit. Absolutely wonderful play. Joshua Siao needed his lad to come into position. Abdul Hafiz, right place, lovely assist, lovely execution, and Abdul Hafiz, of course, redeeming himself after sitting it out twice. So it's a turn of events. 7-4, and that's the number 16, Abdul Hafiz bin Zubair, who's scored this time around. So Schools and Abandi, well, so much of hope with those 2 goals, you know, in a matter of 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and now it's just turned around against them. With 2 minutes left now, it's 3 goals too many, and as you can see, the Wonder Sticks are just about stepping on the accelerator. They do know that they're going to keep that pressure on, and if they can do that, a win will be, well, just within reach. So currently in the driver's seat with the 3-goal lead are the lads in red and black. Schools and Abandi aren't willing to go up as well. Amir Al-Azri would still pose a very big threat, and we've got a player down there. Looks to be, it might be a slight worry for, well, Nukman Sharhan. Well, he will get the magic spray. I don't know if you remember in the good old days when there was no magic spray, and before it was, you know, it wasn't invented. Well, athletes had to find, you know, the deepest strength to weather the pain. I'm saying that because I've been there in school days, but it wasn't as easy, of course. You know, numbing the pain, the spray, of course, increases blood circulation, and just in case you didn't know it, well, all of it contains, well, most of it contains methyl salicylate, which, you know, does help with that. It's one of those things where, you know, you learn, and, you know, how important it can be. Yes, the previous goal scorer, Abdul Hafiz bin Zubair. And I bet you he's had the most colourful game of all the athletes here today. He's had a few calls. He's had to sit it out. He's been responsible for a few good assists. He's stolen possession. He's definitely been the most colourful player today. He's also got a goal in the bag. Got to credit him for that, no doubt about it. So, just a little over a minute left as the Wonder Sticks lead by 3 goals. Schools and Abandi have a bit of a hill to climb. I'm not saying a mountain, because in this sport, anything is possible. A free hit opportunity, and it might always work well. But this time, no way through for Mohammad Ezri. End-to-end action, a counter-strike as well, and that's picked up fairly safely. So what an event it really has been here today. You know, we thought the goals were just going to be a bit restricted. Now that's going to work well against the Wonder Sticks. Referee Sharil spotting that very quickly. Well, it's always going to work against your, you know, team, and if it's a penalty, it is a penalty, you know, especially in that area. So a straight-out penalty here and a chance to make this count. 46 seconds still left on the clock. And Mohammad Ezri will make no mistake here. It's now 7-5. Well played, that fairly simple. Did not try and do anything fancy schmancy in front of the goal. And that's exactly what you require. Well played. Very confident with the strike. 7-5. And it's Mohammad Hazel, well, who's knocked in the 5th goal. So 2-goal difference. 46 seconds left. Yes, Arshad. Sorry, that's straight back to, well, Adel Aydin. Here's Dani Zikri. Schools and a bandy. They've got to make it count if possible. In fact, there's Aiden Irfan. He's got in there. Wonder Sticks want to restore that 3-goal lead. Will it happen with 17 seconds left? Schools and a bandy draw another one close. Now, you might think, you know, if you win or lose the game, of course, the points will matter. But at the end of the season, the goal difference is also going to play a huge part. And that's where you need to keep that score pretty much close. Just gives you a lease of life. It's not what the team aims for, but you've got to score the goals. And that's a bit of a judo takedown. Not really, didn't look like it was intentional, but just a bit of a tangle there for the lads. And referee Charles will have a quick word. Let's find out what happened. I think, well, the two lads definitely getting entangled. And it was Mohammad Indra. We're just getting a word there from referee Charles. Definitely wasn't intentional, so there's no doubt about it. And it's, well, Dani Zikri who's down. And if you haven't noticed, of course, Mohammad Ros Fazwan is back, you know, in the goal for his team. Well, did have that bit of a hit to his arm earlier in that first period, or in the second period, if I'm not mistaken. But he's back here, and that does the team well. You know, he does, you know, man the post for most of the games. Still seems to be a bit of a worry for Dani Zikri. Just about 7 seconds left. And these lads, of course, as you can see, all of them are all good mates, which is why when, you know, Mohammad Ros Fazwan was, well, had that injury in his hand, and, you know, Abdul Hafiz and the lads were just going on to check on him. And most of these lads have played alongside each other, whether it's been, you know, in school or for clubs. And, you know, if you normally have the national players in there, you know, in the under-19s, they've always, I mean, they know each other so well, so it's all about being competitive on the court at that time. There's never really any bad blood, to be certain. And that's the good thing about a sport like this. It's a very, very close community. Very quickly, let's remind you before we get to the end that this is the Singapore Floorball League, the Premier League 25-26, organised by the Singapore Floorball Association. It's being brought to your screens by Leandro and his crew, the man behind it all the time when it comes to football. My name is Glenn Mascarenas. I've been with you, you know, from the start of this game, and we'll be with you from all league games, you know, going ahead. Always glad to be a part of this wonderful event, and it makes for such a great time to spend your Sunday evenings. Having said that, I do wish, of course, you know, if you are watching it on screen, do make it a point, you know, when you know the games are happening, just you know, follow it on the you know, SFA website, and you can definitely get straight to our Tampines hub and come and fill up those seats. Nothing like it. There's always a place, and we could always do with the noise, we could always do with the company. And I did say this, right at the start of the game. You're looking at those top 3 games, just running you through, all the wonderful moments that you had in the game, and the scorers, those beautiful goals, including a few of the misdemeanors. But keep in mind the fact that top 3 or top 5 teams are always going to play very hard. They're always going to play very fast, and that's what makes it such an exciting event by itself. And that was, of course, a little bit of a worry there a while back for Amirul Azri, who came back and then scored. So very quickly, we've just got a bit of time left. And I think with just those few seconds in, of course, it was time for, referee Sharil and referee May to bring an end to this game. So Wonder Sticks, of course, pull off a victory here. It's Wonder Sticks 7, Schools and Abandi 5 at the end of this event. Keep in mind the fact that Orion Star have ascended, the top spot on the league table. And we do have, of course, the Wonder Sticks who will pretty much find themselves in second position. They would have, but if they are stuck on points, it would have been an entirely different story, because Schools and Abandi would still have been ahead on goal difference. Thank you so much for sharing the action of this encounter with us, and I'll be back with you next week with another league encounter, another exciting one right here at our Tampines Hub. So from Leandro and his crew, and from me, Glenn, it's time to shut shop and ship out of here and say bye-bye for now. I'll have a lovely week ahead and catch you again on the next weekend.